to Meet Clifton
with your host, Ray Grabowski.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's Ray.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Meet Clifton. Tonight, unfortunately, my co-host George couldn't make it, but fortunately, our new co-host for tonight is Mr. Mark Peterson. Mark, thanks for being here tonight. I think George is going to be a little jealous you're sitting in his chair today.
George, is that the guy with the dude with the hat?
Yeah, so we already forgot him. Nah,
it's okay, George.
But we appreciate you coming on. Stay tuned because we have a lot of information for you tonight and a special episode on our final segment. But in the meantime, let the Two Tones take it away.
Tonight on Meet Clifton, our guests are Gym Enthusiast, Julia Gabriele, Passaic County Volunteer Counselor Mike Cervine, and a special segment in honor of Flag Day. And you've guessed it, music by the Two Tones. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Meet Clifton.
So welcome to Meet Clifton. We all know exercise is something that we need to make room for in our daily lives. With us tonight is an exercise enthusiast, Julia Gabriele. Welcome for coming on the show. We appreciate it. We just want to talk to people a little bit about exercise. We all know in your teens and your 20s we do a lot of it, but then you start having your families and we neglect it. So midlife, it's important to bring us back because exercise is something that keeps us healthy. So just tell me the reasons why you participate in exercise and what do you do?
Well, I go to a local gym and I like to do the classes that they have. Like I like to do dancing class, especially. And I think it's really important to keep exercising because if you want to keep doing things that you enjoy, like whether you go to a wedding and dance, you need to keep up your stamina to do all those things.
Right. Now, in the gym do you lift weights that anyway?
Yeah, sometimes I do. I have actually done a lot of weightlifting in the past few years because I learned a lot about it. I used to only do the things that I really liked, like I liked yoga and I like to do the dancing. But then when I started to do weightlifting, I could see how that added to that. Right. And that's really important, when you get older, if for balance or if you ever do fall, like we fall on ice or something, if you're fit, you're not going to even care that you fell down. And if you're not, it's going to be a big problem.
And speaking from a health perspective, okay, now you're middle age, and we're not picking at age 40, 50, 60, but from a health reason, why do you think it's so important now for people to keep exercising as they get older?
Well, I'm saying in order to keep up with the hobbies that you like or keep up with the younger family members, you really have to do exercising to keep up your health and be able to do all those things that you always like to do.
And I know when you exercise, and actually we were talking about this before the show, you wear certain attire for different applications, and my co-host Mark made a good point.
About the footwear is very important. It depends on what type of exercise you're going to be doing. Walking, there's specific footwear for walking because the treads are different on the bottom for walking. Tennis, they have tennis shoes. It depends on what kind of, so you really have to have comfortable feet. Comfortable shoes because that will make your exercising so much easier.
Oh yeah, they even have,
very important.
Which we use at the gym, we all have dancing shoes so that we can swivel our feet when we're doing our dancing. Because if you try running shoes, that doesn't work for that.
And a lot of the shoes wear out fast, so sometimes you have to periodically check your the treads, and then that's the time to get new shoes because they wear out fast.
Almost like a car.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
Tires.
It's very true.
I know. So now you've been doing this for a while. And I know people are busy and have hectic life. What allows you to stick to your schedule?
Well, I do really keep track. I have the little card of when the classes are everywhere, in my car, and I have my stuff in the car so I'm ready to go. And I try to do it, I actually try to do it at least every day.
Right.
Too. And I've been unemployed recently, and that's really helpful to have that break and have that place to go, and there are a lot of friendly people. So
at a particular gym that you go to, do you need appointments for these things, or you just go when you want? Are there hours?
Oh, there's certain hours, and I like to go to the classes, so I often plan around that then. But we also have the circuit training available, which is kind of fun. You go to each station and do either an aerobic activity or weights for like 1.5 minutes, and then
Right.
you switch to another one, so it doesn't get boring.
Right.
We have TV and music, so you can go anytime, and it's always fun.
Okay, so I guess
try.
most gyms are similar. They're open from X amount of time to X amount of time, and you could pretty much go when you want to.
Right, right.
And now, when you're looking for a gym, particularly, affordability is important.
Oh yeah, well I found, and especially for seniors apparently, most healthcare plans will reimburse you, or they
Oh.
might even have like a free sign up. Like I know that the classes they run for seniors, which I participate in a lot of the time, you just sign a thing and then the gym gets the money and you don't have to worry about anything. It's as long as they know what insurance they're going to charge.
Okay,
So it's really great. You can get involved without even like signing any contract or
Right,
anything.
yeah, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't belong to a gym. I usually use my home. I don't know if Mark belongs to a gym.
Yeah, you
I
said
do
you
belong
did.
to a
Oh,
gym.
you do belong to a
Yes.
gym. Oh, great.
I go twice a week, and I have a trainer, which really forces me to keep up a routine. And I know one of the things is always be hydrated, always have water
Right.
when you're working out. That's really important.
Let me ask you, well, where you go, I know the girl that runs the thing is sort of like a trainer. Do you find it helpful?
Yeah, because it gives me a push to do it. He'll text me in the morning, see you at 11:30, so I have a
Right.
half-hour session with him. And he just, I use muscles that I would normally never use if I was just walking.
Right.
And it really improves your circulation.
Good.
And stretching, we do stretching there, which is very important.
Yeah, stretching.
So
Oh, we have that
I
too,
really
yeah.
benefit from where I go. I go to a place in Carteret, and it's
Wow.
I go twice a week. So
It's important. So, the program here, how did you find the program that you participate in?
Well, I had always been looking for programs. I've tried a lot of different kinds. My husband and I belonged to the YMHA forever, and then that closed.
Right.
So I started with one of the training gyms that like has classes like around the clock and women only, but it was so impersonal. So I really enjoy the women's only gym that I belong to now, because like I said, the instructor's knowledgeable, the classes are like set for the people that are there, and I've met a lot of nice people, and it's really good.
It could become a social
Yeah,
thing too. You meet friends, which is
Right.
important.
Yeah. So I really enjoy it, and I would encourage anybody to start anything that appeals to you. Like even if you think you're not good at it, just start trying.
Okay. Well, I think the
So-
most important thing for us to know is that exercise at any age is very important, because if you sit there and do nothing, you're just going to age a lot faster. So this is kind of helpful. I'd like to thank Julia for coming on. I appreciate
you.
it.
Thank
and
you,
hope
Ray.
you listen to some of the advice that we heard tonight. Thank you. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with our next guest.
We're having a party. Come on, everybody. Everybody swinging, dancing to the music on the radio. So listen, Mr. DJ, keep those records playing, 'cause I'm having such a good time dancing with my baby.
Hello, Clifton and friends. Welcome to the updates. I'm Sharon, and I'm happy to say the warm weather is here. The Clifton Recreation Department will be having their annual outdoor concerts. They will have them in Botany Village at Sullivan Square. They will also have them at Maine Memorial Park. So please go to the Clifton Recreation Department's website and see when the concerts will be happening and who will be performing. Also, the Clifton Library, not just for books anymore. On July 22nd, they are going to have at the Allwood branch 2 guitars. And on August 5th, Allwood branch again, they will have Dare to Be Different at D3. So please check those 2 venues out because it's something you might be interested in. Also, on June 7th and 8th, the Holy Assumption Church on the corner of Huron Avenue and Orange Ave are having their annual rummage sale. They have loads of things, loads of bargains, furniture, jewelry, toys, books, equipment, anything and everything will be sold. So please go to the Holy Assumption Church, Huron Avenue, Orange Avenue on June 7th and 8th. So hopefully we'll see you around town, enjoy the weather, grab a chair, go outside to the outdoor concerts, enjoy some music, and enjoy the wonderful people of Clifton. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back. So please remember to get out to some of these events that we publicize on the show. It's good for Clifton, and they need your support. Our next guest is here to fill us in on information about Medicare. So please welcome Mike Cervine. Mike, thank you.
How you doing, Ray?
Mike's been on the show before, and he gives us a lot of great information. Tonight, we really want to talk about Medicare and ambulances. So just fill us in on the story.
Okay, well, Medicare with ambulances, Medicare considers ambulances as transport service. There's really two types of transport service in the Medicare system. One is routine transport, which is what people would use if they were going for routine dialysis, or they were being transported between a hospital and a skilled nursing facility. And in those particular cases, Medicare's rules say you have to be transported. You cannot be transported if you're able to sit. You have to be in a lying down prone position. Otherwise, Medicare doesn't pick up that tab. The other situation, the one that I think is more serious right now, is the emergency transportation, which is basically when you call 911.
Right.
When you call 911, what really happens is that the dispatcher, the fire department's dispatcher, turns around and goes through a flow chart asking you what the situation is. What is the emergency? What's the nature of that emergency? If you turn around, for example, I fell down, I think I broke my arm. They say, fine. What they will do is they will dispatch the Clifton ambulance to you to handle the situation, to take you to the emergency room. If, on the other hand, however, you turn around and say, listen, I'm feeling chest pains, I got a pain in my arm, I'm getting a little dizzy, I'm short of breath, they are going to look at that situation and say, this is a possible heart attack or a possible stroke or something like that. And they are going to not only dispatch that, but they're also going to dispatch a paramedic service.
Okay.
Okay? Paramedic services can only be run out of hospitals. They are a separate situation. These are the units like says MICU on a sign, Mobile Intensive Care Unit.
Right.
Paramedics, unlike EMTs, which are all of our firemen are they are in contact with the doctor through telemedicine. These are the people that can take EKGs, they can administer their clot-busting drugs and things like that. So what you will see on there then is that when that happens, you find two ambulances coming to your house or to your location.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, that's important because a lot of people have issues with this. So if you could explain that,
That's right.
that'd be great.
So what happens is that the EMTs come there and they start the situation as best that they can until the MIC units arrive, which is usually about the same time. Once that goes on, the paramedics then take over and they start looking at what the situation is. They take the EKGs, they do things like that. Once they've stabilized the situation, the EMTs take over and transport the patient to the local emergency room. Which is another point, by the way. When you transport over there, Medicare's rules say we'll transport you only to the closest or the nearest emergency room that can handle a situation.
Right.
So if you turn around and say, look, my doctor, they're going to take you, in this case, they're going to take you to the St. Joe's or St. Mary's.
Right.
If you say my doctor operates out of Mountainside, they're going to say, that's fine, but you're going to St. Joe's or St. Mary's. Because Medicare doesn't care where your doctor's out of, they care where you can get the service. Then they have to transport from there, you talk to your doctor about getting that squared away.
Right, so in an emergency, you're going to the
That's
closest
right.
one. It doesn't matter. You want to go to Hackensack because you trust it.
And if you
or
think
something like
if you
this.
think about it, that makes sense. Delay
It's
is
an
the biggest
emergency.
problem. Yes,
Well,
it's an emergency,
obviously,
exactly.
sure. They want to make sure you could get serviced.
Yep.
Some of us are kind of new, and a lot of us out there just experiencing Medicare. And I know we were also talking about this, Mark, and you had a question that I'm sure Mike can answer.
Well, I just retired, but up until the point of retiring, I didn't realize that you had to apply for Medicare A by the age of 65.
Yes.
And I never knew that before because the employer really doesn't tell you that. And then if you don't apply, by the time you're 65, you're penalized, I understand.
Yeah, there is for Part A.
Yeah.
The penalties are much higher for Part B and Part D if you don't do those in times. But most people who are working, if you've got coverage through your employer, A is the only thing you need to apply for.
Right.
B is automatically, because anything else you would apply for within Medicare would be secondary.
Right.
All right. Now, I don't want to get too technical. There's a breakdown in that unless the employer has less than 20 employees.
Right.
If it's less than 20 employees, then you have to apply for both because Medicare becomes the primary insured.
Right.
But yeah, you have to apply for A, and I don't know the penalties off the top of my head right now, but they're in there.
Yeah,
But the
because-
penalties for B and for D are much more substantial.
Because I almost neglected not to follow through because I applied online. Then the paperwork came to the house and I never realized it came. And then I almost didn't meet the deadline and I could have been penalized if I didn't get it there in time.
Well, this is one of the things I find in counseling people a lot, is that most of the employers are not well informed about it.
No.
And I tongue-in-cheek say, listen, talk to your HR department. And if they say, we don't know, say, look, that's your job, find out. Find out what it is. You have employees that are over 65, you need to know.
Right.
That's your job. But they should be better informed, because a lot of the employers are not well informed about it.
No, I had a 450 employee building and they never had courses about that. They had health fairs, but they never discussed preparation for Medicare. But I found out, and I watched your on cable TV at the senior center, which is really informative too.
We'll come to the one in October. We'll talk about some more.
I'm going to go. And I had, my doctor is affiliated with Mountainside, but I had to go to Hackensack for a procedure. It was the same thing. Like he couldn't go to Hackensack.
Right.
I had to deal with the doctor there. I had a cardiac catheterization, but my doctors, they took me there. Well, that's what I understand about the ambulance cost and everything like that. So.
This is something most people don't know, so I think we're sending really good information out here. And the ambulance thing is, and we might as well conclude with that because there's just so much.
Right.
We could be on this forever, but sometimes people, they'll come to the city, they'll say something, gee, I got this huge ambulance bill, and Medicare won't cover it. And sometimes it's extreme.
Yes. Unfortunately, when they dispatch both the basic ambulance services, BLS, which is the EMTs, and ALS, Advanced Life Support System, which are the MICU units or the paramedics, Medicare only pays for the transport from where you are to the nearest emergency room. They do not pay for the paramedic services. The reason for it, again, is because Medicare considers ambulance service as transportation. And the paramedics that are on those ambulances are not considered providers to Medicare system. So what happens is that Medicare pays Clifton Ambulance Service for transport, but the other service that comes to provide it, they provide nothing. As a result, they bill back the patient in original Medicare. Now that bill can be as high as $3,000.
And I know
Now,
people have gotten it.
Clifton fortunately has agreements with several companies, some of these ALS companies, in which they've negotiated it down to several $100s. But there are a few they don't. And when you get presented one of these bills, the thing you want to do is call that ambulance service, explain you're a senior, explain you're on Medicare and on a limited fixed income, and in most cases they will negotiate this down substantially. But you're still on the hook for doing it.
Okay. This is way too much. But can you just really briefly before we end, you're going to give a seminar? Can you just give that date? Do you know it offhand?
It's the first 3 Wednesdays in October. I don't remember the dates offhand. But the first 3 Wednesdays, I run it from 2 to 3:30 in the afternoon, and I repeat it again from 7 to 8:30 at night.
Okay, well, if they wanted to call the station, we'll have that information because it might be a good thing to go and listen to, because this is a lot of information. But Mike, we appreciate it. I learned
Thank
a
you,
lot.
Ray. I hope so.
Absolutely.
Mark, hope you learned something.
I certainly did. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. Okay, please stick around. We have a very special segment coming up next.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mark Peterson. I'm the president of the Theater League of Clifton. I'm very excited to be part of our new production, The Man Who Came to Dinner. I'm co-producing this show. It's a play and a comedy. The last 4 productions we have done have been musicals. And we felt it was time to do something different. And we opened last weekend with rave reviews. We're very excited about our cast. We have 13 new cast members for the first time that are joining the Theater League. We have 5 return actors. We have a brand new costumer. We've enhanced the lighting at the Apria Theater. We had a very generous donor who donated state-of-the-art lights. We have new sound equipment. So people that have come back to this show have noticed a big difference in our productions. We have an unbelievable set designer that we're using for the first time as well. So we have one more weekend of shows coming up, the 7th, 8th, and 9th of June, Friday and Saturday at 8 o'clock, and Sundays at 2 o'clock. And I hope to see you there, and you'll be thoroughly entertained with this production. The show is based on a movie, The Man That Came to Dinner, Who Came to Dinner with Monty Woolley, Betty Davis, and Ann Sheridan. And it's set in 1939, and it's a period piece. And I think everybody that left the theater just raved about the show because it's a very enjoyable evening out at the theater and at affordable prices. Call me on my cell phone, 973-432-0705 for tickets, or visit our website, www.theaterleagueofclifton.com. Tickets can also be sold at the door at the Apria Theater, 199 Scholes Avenue, right here in Clifton. And we look forward to seeing you, and you won't be sorry to attend this show. You'll love it.
Our first guests tonight are three gentlemen from the Elks Lodge in Clifton, New Jersey. We have our actually present exalted ruler, Keith Oakley. A former two rulers here is Jeff Dvorak and Tom Haschak. Why I asked the gentlemen here today is Flag Day is upon us. I think it's June 11th, is that right?
June 14th
June-
is Flag Day.
June 14th
June
is-
11th is when the Elks celebrates it.
Right. Okay, so I think a lot of people didn't know when I went last year to this, and it was really important that I didn't really know why the American flag is folded 13 times. And I have a little thing here, and it's a paragraph. It says, have you ever wondered why the flag of the United States of America is folded 13 times? When it is lowered and when it is folded and handed to the next of kin at the burial of a veteran. I think that's important because I asked a lot of people. Many people didn't know. So tonight, to explain it to us, these gentlemen have come on. They brought a flag. And in a moment, they're going to show us the exact meaning of the flags while Keith Oakley narrates. So we're going to do that right now.
Here is the meaning of each of these folds and what it means. The first fold of our flag is the symbol of life. The second fold is the symbol of our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veterans departing our ranks, who gave a portion of their lives for the defense of our country to attain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature, for as American citizens trusting, it is to Him we turn in times of peace, as well as in time of war, for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country, for in the words of Stephen Decatur, our country, in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but it is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is where our hearts lie. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all her enemies, whether they be found within or without the boundaries of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we might see the light of day, and to honor Mother, for whom it flies on Mother's Day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood, for it has been through their faith, their love, loyalty, and devotion that the character of the men and women who have made this country great has been molded. The 10th fold is a tribute to the Father, for He too has given His sons and daughters for the defense of our country since they were first born. The 11th fold, in the eyes of a Hebrew citizen, represents the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon, and glorifies in their eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold, in the eyes of a Christian citizen, represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies in their eyes God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. 13th, when the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our nation's motto, "In God we trust." After the flag is completely folded and tucked in, it takes on the appearance of a cocked hat, ever reminding us of the soldiers who served under General George Washington, and the sailors and Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones, who were followed by their comrades and shipmates in the armed forces of the United States, preserving for us the rights, privileges, and freedoms we enjoy today.
This is the flag of our country, the symbol of freedom, the emblem of unity.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen, for showing us the folding of the flag. I think it's very important that we understand the meaning as Americans. Most of us don't know this, and we finally got to explain it. Now, Keith, I know Flag Day is coming up, and if someone wants to see this again or the actual ceremony, where can they find?
This Sunday, June 11th at 2 o'clock at the Clifton Elks Lodge, 775 Clifton Ave. We will do the same thing. We do a host ceremony on the flags. The scouts come and help us, and we even serve refreshments afterwards.
Okay, that's perfect. And Jeff, now Avenue to Flags, when do we do that?
The Avenue of Flags we do 5 times a year.
Okay.
The program began in 2004. We started out with 475 flags. We are currently up to 1,803 flags. Each one of these flags represent a veteran of our city. And it's only right that we do this to show them the respect and honor that they so much deserve.
Right, and I think it's...
And if you've never seen it, I encourage you, please come out and see it. It's
You
a
have to see
beautiful,
it.
beautiful sight.
Right, I think it's important, and now that we explained the folds and what they mean, it's important to have pride in our country, especially nowadays with all the problems in the world. The flag, when we pass the flag on the street, we see it, we respect it, and we have pride in our country. So I'd like to thank you, gentlemen, for coming on. I hope that at home, and that we've learned a little something we didn't know. Thank you for coming on the show. I
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having us.
God bless America.
Well, that's it for tonight. We'll be back soon with much more of what makes this such a great place to live. I'd like to thank all the guests that came out tonight, and once again, a heartfelt recognition to the memory of Jeffrey Dvorak. And also I'd like to thank Mark Peterson for coming here tonight and filling in for George. Hope he doesn't get jealous, but we're here, and we appreciate you coming on. But from all of us here, remember to be good to your friends and family, respect your neighbors, and keep Clifton close to your heart. This is a great city. Thank you. God bless, and good night.